There are only 9 days left in the Midnight Scavenger Hunt, and a lot of people out there listening to this or watching this video would have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. In this video, I'm going to go through what on earth the Midnight blockchain is, why we are so interested in it, what this scavenger mine is, and how to go and mine all of these tokens. I'm going to show you multiple different ways, multiple automated, optimized ways to go about doing this mining phase. Like I said, there's only 9 days left. This video is for the absolute beginners. If I've been talking to at school pickup, or you have no idea what mining Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is, this video is for you guys. If you are already mining Midnight and getting all those rewards, this video probably isn't for you, but maybe you'll pick up something. Make sure you check out the chapter markers down below. There might be something of interest there, but let's get into this video. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Peter, and thank you so much for joining me on this crypto journey here in this Midnight chain at the moment. If you enjoy my videos, if you get something out of it, or if you just want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification bell, and I'll keep you guys up to date with everything that's happening in the crypto space. So depending on when you're watching this video, it may be already too late, but if it is before the 19th of November, you can still participate in this scavenger mining phase where we are mining the Night token on the Midnight chain. So this is a part of a greater Glacier Drop, which is essentially an airdrop for these tokens where the community can participate in this event to be able to earn some of these tokens. I know it's a bit of a process. There's a whole legal reason why they're doing this, and I'll get into it in a different video. But let's go into what actually Midnight is. So the Midnight chain is a privacy-focused blockchain. And let me explain what the difference there is with the other existing blockchains out there. If you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, all of these chains have public ledgers. That is, if you're doing anything on them, you'll be able to see those various transactions, and it's fully transparent. If I send some tokens or cryptocurrency to your address, you'll be able to verify that on chain that it has actually happened. So if I was able to get your address, I'll be able to look up and see exactly what you've been doing on chain. So I can look up your address, see the balance that is in your wallet. I'll be able to see where and what you've been purchasing, what centralized exchanges, what decentralized exchanges you're interacting with, what protocols are out there, or what you're just buying online. And this level of transparency isn't really appealing to a lot of people. On the flip side, companies, banks, and all these big institutions have a responsibility to keep your data private. There are rules and regulations around the world that enforce this, and companies are required to do so by law. So interacting with blockchains for a lot of these companies is really hard because all of that data is transparent. Now, Midnight is different because it can provide different levels of privacy for all of these transactions online. It can have anonymous transactions where the sender and receiver's identities are obscured, but the amount or some metadata are still public. It can also have confidential ones. The amount or transaction values are hidden, but the sender receiver's identities are still maybe known or partially known. And it can have completely private transactions where everything, the identities, assets, amounts, and the operations are completely hidden. Now, this is slightly different to other privacy chains out there, such as Zcash or Monero, where all of that data is just private. So the key differentiator here with Midnight is the selective disclosure. You can choose what you want to disclose in regards to that transaction. You can have it anonymous, confidential, or completely private. This means the privacy level is configurable and not enforced by the protocol. The ledger will be public available, but the data in it won't be able to be read by the public. However, you as a user can choose to reveal it if you need to. So for example, you can prove how much of an asset you have received, but you can keeping your sender anonymous. So there's lots of different ways you can configure this to make it private, but still comply to government regulations and government authorities when needed. Now, I do have to give credits to Cardano Yoda that wrote up that detailed explanation about Midnight and why it's different and why it's so important. If you want to read it all, I'll leave links in the video description down below for you. So I'm going to take you through 3 different ways to mine the Night tokens. I'm going to take you through the scavenging mining website itself, the main interface that everyone is using, then also show you how to do it via NewFi wallet. This is a really nice way as well. NewFi have been in the Cardano ecosystem from the very, very early days, building Ada Lite and all these other really cool tools within the ecosystem to help drive adoption. So NewFi is really cool. Then the last way I'll show you is with the Midnight Fetcher bot. And this is what a couple of stake pool operators out there have set up to allow people to multi-address mine as well. So now let's go through the scavenging mining phase of this Glacier Drop. If you haven't looked into the Glacier Drop or understand what that is, that's okay. Check out the video there in the top right-hand corner where I talk through the Glacier Drop. It's 3 different phases and what it actually means. The very first one here is the official mining process. This is at midnight.gd, and you can see all the details around the actual scavenging mining process. And this is by far the easiest way to go about it. You can see here we have 21-day period, but it ends on the 19th of November. If you are watching this video after the November the 19th, unfortunately, you may be a little bit too late. There is one more phase called the lost and found afterwards. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell, so you'll get up-to-date information about that lost and found phase. So let's go into the scavenger mine here. I can click on claim now. Now this will bring up the scavenger mining interface, and this is what you'll see here. Now at this point in time, you can connect your Cardano wallet. If you have one already, great, fantastic. Skip ahead a little bit. If you don't, if you're completely new to crypto, if you are one of those parents that I've been speaking to at school drop-offs, go through this phase here, set up a Cardano wallet, and then start mining. So I'm going to scroll down here. And for those newbies that are coming into the ecosystem for the first time, Jira Wallet is fantastic, very simple. But in this case, I'm going to use Vespa for this process here. It is another very lightweight wallet, very easy interface to follow as well. So I'm going to go to the website here. This is Vespa. You can get to it at VESPR.xyz, and I'll click on download. And my browser I'm using at the moment is Brave. I'm going to click on Brave and then click on add to Brave. So make sure you're following the official links here so that you're not downloading a fake version of the wallet. It does happen from time to time, but Google Chrome, the Chrome Web Store is usually quite fast at locking those down. Okay, so now that is now installed, I can click on my extensions in the top there and click on Vespa Wallet. Great. So now I'm going to click on Create New Wallet. And here you just accept the terms and the privacy and then click on Continue. So it's created a wallet for me in the background. Let me just type in a password here. Just click on that, those 2 checkboxes there. Understand you're losing your password here. You can't recover. Always important to make sure you're got that one right. And done. The wallet is created. Now view your wallet. Now I chose Vespa for a reason, and that is because there's a process where you need to set up your seed phrase, your private keys. This is your special password for your crypto wallet. If you ever expose this online, if you show someone your seed phrase, or if you lose it, then you're 100% guaranteed to lose all your assets. So it's really important to keep that one safe and secure. So I'm just going to actually reveal it for you in this process. This is going to be burner wallet. I will never use this wallet again. So I'm just going to click on these ellipses here. And here you can see the recovery phrase. And it states that it's not backed up yet. So I can click on that. And these are your secret keywords, your secret phrase for your wallet. I'm going to reveal it and just be mindful of this here. It says, so this is the important stuff here. Keep it secret, keep it safe, confirm and acknowledge the following. No one can see your screen, except for everyone that's watching this YouTube video. I risk losing all my funds if I share my recovery phrase with anyone. My funds are permanently lost if I lose my recovery phrase and lose access to my wallet. Vespa employees will never ask for your recovery phrase. So never enter this online anywhere else other than the actual wallet you're restoring again. So I'm going to click all that, accept all those responsibilities and show the recovery phrase. There we go. So this is my 12-word recovery phrase. And now what you need to do now as a absolute beginner is to write this down and put it somewhere really, really safe. What I like to do for my seed phrases is to write it on a piece of metal like this. This is a something I got from Bunnings. It comes in long rods like this. This is aluminium. You can get steel ones. You can cut it with a hacksaw or something like that to, down to size. But here you can see on my screen that it's only a 12-word seed phrase. So you only need enough space for 12 letters or 12 words to write down. And I have one of these etching engraving tools that just lets me write down whatever I want. So that is a really secure way of doing it. Of course, you can put it on a piece of paper. You may lose that piece of paper. This sticks out like a sore thumb. It looks important, so it's less likely you'll be able to lose that. What I also like to do is put a piece of contact on there so it isn't visible just by looking at it. You need to peel it off to be able to access what those are. So I think that is a nice way of securing your seed phrases. There's fancy ones that you can get out there, but if you're one of the parents that are interested in this, you can borrow my etching tool and just hop over to Bunnings or Hammer Barn for those international people that are watching this and secure your seed phrase that way. Okay, so now that your wallet's set up, I'm going to nuke this one afterwards and you won't ever see this one again, but let's go through and actually see how the mining process works. So let's go back to the scavenging mining website. I'll refresh the screen and here you can see Vesper appear. So I'm going to click on continue. Now a pop-up does come up and you just need to accept and allow a Vesper to connect to the site. So here we can see I've got my address. It's completely unused because it's a brand new wallet. I can now go next and continue with this process. You have terms and conditions here that you need to sign. It's basically you won't scam people, pretend that you are Midnight, and you won't be mining for other people. This is owned for personal use. There's a bit more to it, but go ahead and read it if you like. Another pop-up will appear here and you just need to approve that you've signed the terms and conditions. So there we go. We can sign that with my username and password and we are ready to now mine. So that is my interface all set up. And all I need to do now is click on Start Session. So that's it. So we are ready and we are now mining those night tokens. So now that you're mining on your browser here within the interface, you need to leave this computer on for 24 hours a day and make sure it doesn't auto shut off. So if you have a sleeping timer on your computer, you need to disable that. If you need to install something to keep it awake and keep it active, you need to install that too. You could probably dim, if it's a laptop, you can dim the display down to nothing so that it will remain operating. But won't burn your screen. So that's a couple of things that you need to do now so you can keep this thing on and operating without it stopping. Now you do need to check back every now and then. Users have had issues with this interface here just stopping and the session would need to be restarted. And you can press Control F5 or do a hard refresh on the browser window here, like such as this. I'm just typing in, pressing enter on the address, and then just start that session again. So people have had to do that because it stops for whatever reason. But from this point, you're mining the asset and you're probably good to go. So what will happen is that these challenges will be presented to your computer, your browser, and it will start finding a solution. So this is all cryptographic mining that's happening within your browser. And once it finds that solution, it will send it and submit it to the Midnight network, and then it will allocate that one solution for you. Each solution at the moment is worth about 1.5 night tokens. So in a day, if you manage to find all of the solutions for all the challenges, you get 1 per hour. So you get 24 in a day. You'll get 24 times 1.5. So that's around 36 or so night tokens, which is kind of nice. Now at this point, you could open up multiple different browser sessions. You can open up another browser such as Google Chrome. And within Chrome, you can actually set up what's called accounts. And each one of those sub-accounts can have a different wallet. And you can set up those wallets in there and then go ahead and start mining on multiple different browser sessions. But if you just want to dip your toes into this and just give it a try, and maybe you've got it set up on a laptop in the dining room and you just want to leave it on for the next few days just to see how many night tokens you get, at least you get some exposure into the ecosystem and you can say you've mined some cryptocurrency. So it's kind of a nice way of stepping into the space. Now, if you want to take it a step further and really embrace that multi-browser or multi-account address mining, you can do so with one of the other wallets here, and this is with NewFi. NewFi allows you to mine multiple different addresses all at the same time in one browser window. So this allows you to really up your game here and mine as much as possible. So let me take you through this process of how to use NewFi. So this here is NewFi. It's a multi-chain wallet. It's quite nice. I've interviewed the team behind this as well. So they do a lot of work in the Cardano space from the very early days. So here I'm going to get the extension and install it on my computer browser here. There we go. That's the right one there. So I'm going to add this again to my browser. Great. So now that I've got NewFi installed, I can click on my extensions and open up the wallet itself. So this is it here. So let's get started. All right, so on the create a wallet screen for NewFi here, again, you can go through, create your wallets. You can connect a hardware wallet if you do have one. But I'm just going to restore that wallet that I created a little bit earlier within Vespa. So I can click on now restore wallet. Now it was a 12-word one. And here I can also now open up the Vespa wallet all at the same time. So I've got two wallets open up on the screen here. I'm going to do some Frankenstein magic and now reveal my seed phrase again. There we go. So I've got all my words here and I'm just going to copy them across onto the recovery restore a wallet screen here on NewFi. There we go. That looks good. Great. And we are set and ready to go. Cool. Now I can close the Vespa one here. I've got a little bit more space. And here I need to now click on Cardano. Okay, it's just syncing. Now from the left-hand side here, click on airdrop. Then I can click over here where it says single account mode. Enabling this will let you see multiple addresses within your wallet. And now I can start registering all these other addresses here to be able to mine on Midnight. So here I'm just going to click on register. For a few of these, sign the message there, which just allows me to register that wallet for mining. And now here I can click on start mining on any of these addresses and start mining the Night token. Really easy way of going about it. Now there's a couple of configuration things here that you can do. This is CPU threads. So this is how much of your CPU you want to use, maybe down to something like 4, which should be enough to mine the Night tokens, but still use your computer. If it's a bit of an old computer, maybe it's about 10 years old, you probably only have 4 CPU threads to play with, so you might need to go down to 2. But for most modern computers, you could probably be okay with 4. Now, all I need to do now is click on start mining against every address that I want to start mining on, and then walk away. You are now mining 3 different sessions, and my computer is going slow already. So I'm going to stop that. There we go. So you could see even when I was just starting to play around with this, it was already using up my CPU quite extensively. So as you can see, it's pretty quick and easy to get started with the NewFi wallet. And my CPU did start to struggle. So I highly recommend that you guys step this up one at a time. So start with one single address and one CPU thread, and then start mining from there and see how your computer performs and how it reacts. Like I said, if you have an older computer, you may not have enough threads to crank it all the way up. So you may be stuck at 1 or 2 threads to solve these challenges and submit those solutions. So you have a choice there. I can enable that. I can see all my other addresses here that I could possibly participate in, but start small, start with one address and then start scaling up depending on how it all works. So I can close that now and be done with that. But that is another fantastic way of going about it. So the last one here is the Midnight Fetcher bot. And this one here is a little bit more technical because you do need to set up and install it on your computer to get it up and running. So if you're running a Windows machine, this is probably ideal because the instructions here and the file and everything is set up for Windows. Now, this is brought to you by Paddy. He's from Shamrock Pool. I've interviewed him on the podcast before, And also Paul, Cardano with Paul, if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, do check that out as well. But you can get to this, I'll put links down below, but it's github.com, ADA-markets/midnight_fetcher_bot_public. I know it's a bit of a mouthful there, but links down below, but I'd like you to actually verify that and check that you're downloading the correct one. So this is the instructions here. So what we need to do for this quick start is download the repository, click on the setup.command file, and then this will install a bunch of dependencies that we need. And then we can start this up and running on the local host. Let me go through the process here, and with the magic of post-production editing, I can speed this all up. So from here, you can click on code and then download the zip, download it to your desktop, for example. And here I can see the contents of the zip file and that setup.command file down here. So I'll double click on this. A prompt will come up saying security warning. This is a custom script that is downloading, installing a whole bunch of things. So if you're uncomfortable at this point, I suggest that you don't do this. But for the sake of this video and experimenting here, I am going to go through with it. There we go. So it's doing its thing. It's nice that I can actually see what's going on here. So I can see it's downloading all these various dependencies. It doesn't look anything out of the ordinary from what I could see there. But that's it. That didn't take long at all. So let's see here. So hash service at, yep, okay. So that's to check it. Okay, it's still building everything in the background. So I'll still have to wait a bit longer. Okay, that looks like it's done. So this is what I got here now. You can see the browser address and everything looks okay. So let me take you through this process now. So here we can click on create new wallet. Let's put in a password. It's creating a wallet for us. Again, this is another seed phrase that you need to keep secure. Anything you see on the screen here will be burnt and never used again. So this is a 24-word seed phrase. Like I said before, write that down, confirm that you have. I'm going to copy this to a clipboard for now, and then continue loading my wallet. So type in the password that you had before, and here's the dashboard. All right, so this is the interface here. Now we can go through a couple of things first before we start mining here, so you know what's going on. History, nothing to see there yet. Rewards, nothing to see yet either. Workers, we're not active, so nothing to see there. And addresses, I haven't registered any yet. But the things here that do work, scaling. So this is looking at your system's performance. The CPU that's got how many cores, how many threads, and how fast it is, amount of memory, and other things that you need to know for the actual system itself. Here we can define how many threads, how many workers we want to work in parallel. I'm going to put that down to just 2 at the moment. You can see it recommended 12. So if you're not doing anything else on your computer, 11's okay, but I'm doing things. I'm recording this video. So I'm actually going to put that down to just 1. Optimal recommends 7. Let's go back down there. I clicked on 7. It went to 7. Conservative, and then maximum is 9. So that's based on your CPU. Batch size here, you can edit the value here. We've got optimal, conservative, and maximum. So let's go conservative there at 300, and we can apply the changes and start mining. But before I do that, there's a couple of other things I want to take you through. Now, there is a development fee here. Now, the guys here have written all of the code and written this interface and done all this work for you so that you can optimize the amount of rewards that you get. And they take a small fee from all the mining processes. So here, the development fee is a small percentage of mining rewards that supports the ongoing maintenance, updates, and improvements of this mining application. It helps to ensure the software remains secure, efficient, and up to date with the latest features. When enabled, 1 out of 17 solutions you mine will be submitted to the development address instead of your wallet. This represents approximately 5.88% of your mining rewards. But it's not too much for the privilege of using this. So like before, you can go back here and just use the scavenging mining interface and just mine through here. That's totally fine. You can do that. Or you can go through and use NuFi. That's completely free as well. If you prefer this and to mine with 200 plus addresses, you can do so. And you can thank the guys by just paying a little bit of the night tokens for this privilege. What you can also do is go to the code itself on GitHub. If you really don't like this, you can vet the code, you can scan through it, you can find where their developer address is and take it out. Sorry, Paul, sorry, Patty, but people need to have those options there. They need to know what's going on, but that you can take that address out so they don't get paid. If you do, I won't look too kindly on that because they did put in all the work here, but you can do so, or so you can submit that one in every 17 solutions or modify the code yourself if you want to and take that out. Just with any code out there, because this is all open source, it's all on GitHub, you can vet the code, you can go through all the lines of code and put it through ChatGTP and ask it what it thinks about the code and if there's anything malicious happening. The other ones here, the Midnight Scavenging, the Glacier Drop one is a closed source, so you don't know what's actually happening. And the NewFi one is also closed source, so you don't know what's happening there. At least this one here is open source. You can read the code, you can check yourself. So let's start this process and you can see what it's all like. So let me go back down to one here, one worker thread. I might do the batch sizes just 10, something really small, just to get this up and running. To start mining. Now in the background, you can see that it's starting to register various addresses. So you still have this terminal interface and it's registering all these addresses for me now. And I'll just let that happen in the background. So from the console, it looks like it's doing something there and that looks all okay. And on the interface here, I can't see anything update yet, but maybe I have to go to dashboard. There we go. Okay. So now I can see the current challenge that it's on. So day 13, challenge number 3, and the progress of how it's going there. So it's done 1, hasn't found any solutions yet. And you can see how much of my CPU and everything that's using at the moment. So using 11 workers, CPU usage isn't too high. I can see it blip at 61%. So video still is recording, so that's okay. It's workable. I could use this in the background and start mining the night tokens. So that is nice. That is very, very good. History, I won't see anything yet, but here I'll see any of my mining solutions go through, and this will be a dashboard of all the rewards that I've earned for this night mining process. So that's kind of nice. It's a nice, really nice interface here. I love the work that these guys have put together for this particular one. So if you're interested in playing around with this one, so far so good. It looks good. It looks, I can verify that it is, from what I've seen so far, that it's working. Oh, there we go. We found one solution as well. And that's been submitted successfully. So far so good. It looks kind of nice. How many night tokens I've earned? Nothing at the moment. This gets updated on a daily basis every 24 hours. So you won't see this update. That's the same with the scavenger hunt thing. Your estimate here is 0, even though you may have found multiple solutions, it'll just come up with nothing at the moment. That is a really nice thing. Now, the last thing I need to show you here for this particular interface is the consolidation. Now, when you are mining, you're mining across multiple different addresses in this case. I believe it went up to 170 something. Now, when you're mining that many different addresses, when you're claiming it, you will have to go through and claim for each one of those individual addresses. And in doing so, it's going to cost you ADA transaction fees and take a long time to do. So instead of claiming each address individually during the claim phase, you can consolidate all of your rewards into one single address. And then that way you only need to go to one address to claim all of your night tokens. It's a nicer way to do it. This is how they are able to get the dev fee as well, because their dev fee is going to that consolidated address. And this here is the way for you to do it, to consolidate all of your rewards into one address as well. So it's nice that they've put that functionality in there so that you guys can optimize your rewards and not pay all these fees when you're claiming in the future as well. So that's it, guys. That's the whole process overall of how to mine and why and what we are mining at this point in time. Midnight, I think, is one of those brand new revolutionary chains that is coming out there. That's it for me, guys. If you got something out of this, make sure you hit that like button. Please do. That's the least you can do if you watch this almost hour-long recording. You can hit the subscribe if you want to learn more about blockchain tech, how to get all these mining opportunities out there. I have another one coming up. I have another big video coming up with this Igon QS Pro. This allows me to join the Igon ecosystem, and they do decentralized compute and decentralized file storage. So if you want to learn more about my journey of mining and how I'm earning all these cryptocurrency tokens, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, you find out more. If you want to support the content, the channel, and everything that I do, I've got all these links here to buy me a coffee. Got a Patreon here that I'm starting up as well, where you get some exclusive content tidbits. And of course, you can be a YouTube member down below. Lots of links, lots of ways you can support the channel and all the work that I do. And I'll keep you guys up to date with everything that is happening in this space. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.